Peace and welcome to another episode of the Digital Recipe Podcast, where we discuss albums and what they mean to us. I'm your host, DJ Atlas, and today's guest is multidisciplinary artist Brittney London. Hope you enjoy. When we started recording, there was an album that you wanted to talk about, and I am really sorry that somebody already picked that album. And I'm trying to get as many albums discussed as possible. So because somebody already picked the album that you spoke about, we had to go with another album, which is perfectly fine. And what is that album?
That album is, the one that we're going with or the one that...
The one that we're, no, you good. The one that we're going with.
We are talking about Cleo Soul's Rose in the Dark album.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
you said that this album came out in 2020?
I believe it came out in 2020 because I remember listening to it when we were in quarantine. Yeah. And it was incredibly healing. And it was so many things. I was grateful for that in the midst of everything that was happening in the world. But yes, I think it happened in 2020. Yes.
Okay. Now, as a whole, what makes this album stand out as an amazing body of work to you?
Oh my gosh. I think when I think about an album that has depth and that is substantial to my to where I am at that point in my life. I think about how it starts and how it ends. I think about, am I skipping any songs? I know it also it matters where you are at a time in your life, how significant any body of work is to you.
For sure.
And so that point in time, I think people just needed to feel good. People needed to, dance and feel something. And so, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, that's cool.
It just, I think about an album that I can play repeatedly and not get sick of it until maybe month 2.
For sure.
And I think about an album that takes me on a ride, that has songs I can dance to, songs I can cry to, songs I can be like, damn, I went through that. Songs where I can be like, maybe I've never been through that, but I love how this shit sounds, yeah. But yeah, I feel like that really did it for me.
For sure. Now, before we go into it, are you using your computer to record or are you using your phone to record?
I'm on my computer.
Okay. So if you can do me a favor and pull up that album on your phone, right?
Absolutely.
Just so that we can get the exact, month and day and year that album came out. And I want you to be able to see the track list.
2020. Yes. 2020. Now I really would like to know actually the month. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it came out 2020. Let me see when it was March 27th.
That's crazy. Okay. So that's in the very beginning of COVID. We're still in panic. We don't know what's going on. It's we wearing masks. I don't even think it really had a name yet, right? It was just people were getting sick and people were dying, right?
People were getting sick and people were dying. I actually remember because I went to Puerto Rico that December of 2019 for a wedding.
Okay.
And I remember hearing things about some illness, some virus, January, February. So yeah, we were hearing some things, but we didn't know shit. We didn't know anything.
Right. So then the album comes out around the very beginning of COVID. So yes. That's pretty unique because I feel like we all needed something because we were all kind of in a panic. You were either in a panic or it was, business as usual and it really didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that it didn't matter, but it was a I don't even have the means to survive when there isn't, a pandemic. So I'm barely
Yeah,
surviving without a pandemic. So with a pandemic, I can only do with it, the things that I'm doing right now. So
absolutely.
yeah, music was also very important to me. I mean, music has always been important to me my entire life, but during that time, it was podcast and music that kind of kept me sane and kept me together. Um,
Yeah.
do you remember where you were when you first heard this album?
Whew. Well,
So,
that, yes. Okay, go ahead.
so definitely talk about it because you went somewhere. I saw you. I just watched you go somewhere. Pull that out and talk about that.
That might be a little too deep for this, Theo.
Okay.
But no, I mean not really, but kind of. I don't know. As a Cancer, I tend to overshare my business,
Okay.
but I was in a very awful situation in a very terrible partnership. Like
Okay.
I'm fine, I'm safe, like everything is fine.
For sure.
But we just so happened to be cohabitating because we share kids. And so it was helpful because of what was happening with schools closing and da 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 and all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So at that point in time, I was probably in my apartment, in my room, separate from this other individual, um, with my kids running around.
Right.
Um, and it just felt like such a release. And I remember this was my introduction to Cleo Soul. So I
Mm.
had never heard her before this. And I think I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain that she had other projects before this. Um, but if I'm not, I think this might have been her first like album. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But this was my introduction to her. So yeah, I was at home in a space that didn't really feel like home.
Hmm.
And I heard this album and I laughed, I cried, I danced, I did all the things. I went through the whole field of emotions. Yeah.
For sure. Now, um, excuse me. Sense memory is something that I love to talk about.
Yeah.
I love to experience it. We were talking about how you went to UMBC for a dance, and
Mhm.
I went for 1 year to Baltimore School for the Arts for theater. In theater, I remember sense memory being a tool to use in order to bring out a character that you're trying to embody, right? So music sound is a sense that brings certain memories, to us. If with this album, is there something that ignites a memory of yours, whether it is the weather, the people that you were around, the feelings that you were feeling? You spoke about it a little bit, and even down to like smells and the food you were
Yeah.
eating, anything of etc.
Yeah. Um, yeah, memory. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
The question was, sorry.
No, so
um,
okay. So the question is, what memories do you have from this
yeah,
album
yeah.
that you can remember that strikes different senses?
Um, I remember, honestly, I remember being in a park
Hmm.
and dancing to this album. Um, and yeah, so much so that uh, just being in nature, I remember feeling just so free.
Hmm.
Um, and I literally danced barefoot in the grass. I put this album on and I like just played it. I sat by the water. I don't even know if you know where this is, but Centennial Park, like over in Ellicott City. It's huge. There's water and it's just all the greenery.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think that for me, I always think like I'm back to that park. I recorded it and everything. Um, but yeah, there's also just so many moments of like good and bad.
Hmm.
I think that oftentimes when we listen to bodies of work, um, that are incredibly significant to us, that move us, for me anyway, especially when there's songs about love,
Hmm.
it's not always pleasant.
For sure. Absolutely.
know? And so, I'm a lover girl or whatever. And so, yeah, there's so many like really beautiful songs on the album that bring me back to a moment of like, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? They bring me to a moment of like, well, sadness, I guess,
Okay.
in situations, in partnerships. But I think it's cool because listening to those songs, there's like so much enjoyment because it's like, wow, she's first of all, she's singing it so beautifully.
Absolutely.
And it's the lyrics and the way in which she speaks it. It's just like, oh, this is so beautiful, but this is so sad.
Hmm.
And that I experienced this. But damn, she sounds so good singing it. So yeah, I know I went a little bit on,
No, no,
but
you're good. This is good. You're cool. You're cool. I promise you. You're good. You're good.
yeah. So yeah, so many things, so many memories, so many things. But I think the one that comes to mind just with the specific question you were asking me was like being in the park in nature, dancing to this beautiful album.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. I think sharing music with certain people, uh, it really depends. Like you have to be careful of who you share the music with because now that music is is a memory with this person. So now it's difficult to listen to this song or listen to this project
Oh,
when
Theo, you getting into something serious
you know
now,
what I mean?
please.
When you no longer are with that person in that way,
Yeah.
or if in that relationship it was it wasn't a good relationship, or it was a great relationship and it just didn't work out and you had to part ways.
Yeah.
Is Do you feel that way with this album? Or would you say that you feel that way with this album? Did you share this album with a person?
I shared this album with so many people.
Hmm.
Not necessarily people that, well, I'll say this. I I can still listen to this album and be completely like okay with listening to this album. I'm not
Awesome.
sad or anything. There are songs that make me sad,
For sure.
but I've had some albums and some songs that I have deleted from my library. Listen, we're all healing.
No.
Um,
Right? Right?
we are all healing. It's nobody is ever fully healed. Let me just put that out there.
For sure.
But yeah, there are some songs in life and in general that like I'm like, no, I'm good off that. But this project, no. But there are some songs that 100% take me to a place of like reminiscence
For sure.
and like acceptance,
For sure.
um,
Let me ask you
and
this.
gratitude. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Are there any songs from Who is Jill Scott that brings you into a mindset of like a good place?
A good place.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes, A Long Walk. Like,
For
hello,
sure.
this is like, it's like the main. I'm so glad you brought her in. Um,
I got you. Told you. I got you, yo. I got you.
yes. Oh my God, A Long Walk. But there's so many, Theo, because it's like they all spark a different piece, a different
Absolutely.
time, a different relationship, a different feeling. Like, but yeah, A Long Walk,
A long walk.
because A Long Walk felt for me like it felt that song made me feel like okay to be vulnerable.
Mm.
It made me okay to be like, okay, so like we can like go for a walk and like talk about the roots and like talk about religion and like we can do all of these things and then we can smoke a J. Like we love that, even though I don't smoke. Like, but it to me made me feel.
We can smoke a J, but I don't smoke.
No, I
Yup.
don't. And that's another conversation for another day. I'll blow your high. Like, it's just not for me.
It's all good.
But like, yeah, that one for me. But also Slowly Surely from that album.
Yo, the moment that you said it, it started playing in my head.
You heard
Yeah,
like the beginning.
I
Like,
could hear it. I could hear it in my
I mean,
head.
talk about like a song. Oh my God, Theo, am I gonna cry? No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
it's
Um,
okay if you do. It's fine. It's
Slowly Surely.
mm-hmm.
Talk about an uplifting ass song. Like, talk about a song of affirmation. You
Right.
know, God, it's really ridiculous that I can't remember exactly verbatim what she says, but slowly but surely I walk away from that tainted love, that crazy love,
Mm-hmm.
thought I was, but like the whole thing is just like the affirmation of I will be, and like also like slowly, surely, because things take time.
For sure.
But
For sure.
yeah.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. And we still we going to dig into that a little bit more. But
Yeah.
going back to the Cleo Soul album, are there any
Yes.
songs that stand out to you now that didn't back then?
Oh, can I look? I'm looking right
Sure, of
now.
course, absolutely.
I mean, this whole freaking album. Like, I'm just looking at it like, yeah, I mean, top to bottom is just so damn good.
For sure.
Um, no, I don't think there's any song that did not stand out to me because
Yeah,
every song, it was just a beautiful body of work. Everything connected. Um, yeah.
yeah. I think 5 years ago, as opposed to 15 years ago or 20 years ago, when we were children, there's songs from albums that I didn't listen to because, or I would listen to them, but I would listen to them because they sonically felt good. They just felt good.
Yes.
And there were songs that I listened to or songs that I didn't listen to because they sonically didn't feel, they didn't pique my interest. But when I got older, I would go and listen to that song and listen to it for another purpose, which was
Yeah.
either the lyrics or the tone of the voice or the different instruments that I didn't appreciate as a younger person that I now appreciate today. And
Yeah.
it, that's I think that revisiting of albums or songs that didn't stick out to you, I feel like some time has to be, it has to be a certain amount of time so
Yeah.
that there's a level of change. Now I know that COVID changed all of us. COVID changed all of us. It changed us in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I know specifically for me, I was a extroverted person. The I think that COVID, along with a relationship that ended, turned me into, or it transformed me into a highly introverted individual now. Like I'm highly like introverted,
Really?
highly introverted. So,
Wow.
um, but I kind of like it. Like I kind of love it. And
I'm
music,
kind of surprised because, well, I'm introverted too, but like, because we're doing this,
yeah, for
and like
sure.
this is exuding, energy. So that's why I was like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so seeing as though that this album did come out in 2020 and it's now 2025, when this was recorded, this will come out in 2026.
Right.
But but yeah, so okay, all right. All right.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm really interested to hear the answer to this question. Did this album change how you saw yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, um, it challenged me to see myself better. Um, it just like, the Who is Jill Scott, it created a sense of vulnerability for me. I was so like shocked by like how many, there's a song called Why Don't You on the album, and like I was like, damn, like it just resonated with me, and like even the down to some of the like very elaborate lyrics. I'm like, damn, like I used to date somebody like that, you know? Um, but it it definitely challenged me to know my worth, to see myself, to heal, to uplift myself, to be kinder with myself, to love myself. Like,
Hmm.
yes, like it is definitely like an incredibly uplifting body of work.
For sure.
So it really called my attention to self, and I love listening to it most to this day. Like if when I'm just at the house having a glass of wine, or like even if I'm dancing, or even like if I'm getting ready like in the morning, it's like it really is that. Um so yeah.
For sure. For sure. Now, Cleo Soul is definitely influenced by neo soul, which is not a
Yeah.
person. If it's not a neo soul is not a person. Neo soul is a genre of music,
Yes, yes.
and the creators of that genre of music, or the I would say the founding folks of that genre of music, are your
Mhm.
Jill Scotts, they are your D'Angelos, they are your Erica Badu's. So did anything about this music introduce you or open you up to other music?
Mm. Did anything about Cleo Soul's music open me up to other music?
Like this album. You know what? Let's do this. Did this
Sorry.
album, did this album, did Cleo Soul's album make you want to revisit the albums before that inspired her music?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know I'm just going to talk about Jill Scott because we've been talking about Jill Scott. But yeah, I saw her live for her, was it her 20th year? No. I saw her live at Maryland Live, the casino.
Jill Scott.
Scott,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
I saw her, and it was after COVID.
Mm,
Um, and it was so great. Um, and what else? I think that being an adult, going through real shit, living real life, going through life's experiences, things always sound so different.
mm,
Like you were saying, like you listen to songs for the sound
mm-hmm.
when we were younger, and it's just like you revisit them when you're an adult, and it's just like, yeah, this really is that. This is that.
Yeah.
This is what I need to hear. Um, and so for me, it made me tap back into more music that I grew up on, like yes, D'Angelo, yes, India, um, Angie Stone, rest her soul.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Oh, I grew up listening to so many genres. Like
For sure.
it's so wide, and this is, I think, I don't know.
Can you speak
It's
on a couple of those genres? Like which
okay.
give me as
Yeah.
many as you can.
So my CDs, and mind you, if anybody knows the area in Maryland, I grew up in Ellicott City. Okay, so I had Paramore, Evanescence. Yes, I listened to Britney Spears. Yes, I listened to Christina Aguilera. But I also had a cassette tape.
I have never heard anybody roll her last name ever. I have never heard that before. Shout out to you.
Well,
That you right. I mean, I just never heard anybody properly say her last name. Keep going. I'm listening. This is dope.
I'm doing. I'm being so extra, but yeah, but yes, I listen to all these people, but I also, listen to Donny Hathaway. And Donny, ugh. So also why this album is like really, really great. It's like my father passed in 2019, and that experience actually got me into the work that I do, the holistic wellness work that I do now.
Hmm.
And so listening to that album in 2020, Rose in the Dark, incredibly healing, right on time. And growing up, I loved Donny Hathaway. Like I loved. And so tragic how he left us.
For sure.
His music, his aura, the way his tone, my God.
Yeah.
I started listening to a lot of Donny. I started listening to a lot more Donny. My father gifted me a cassette tape. Literally a cassette tape.
No, I'm not
Isn't
even,
that crazy?
it's not that face wasn't about the cassette tape. The face was about the parallel of our life. As you're talking about it, we'll talk.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
listening to
Oh,
you
I'm
though.
excited. Awesome. Okay. But yeah, so I think it was "Where's the Love." So a song for you was on there. Yeah, yeah. Donny Hathaway. I'm so connected to his music because of my father and because of just the amazingness that is him.
For sure.
But yeah, I started going back and I started getting into 70s soul. So like I started listening to Switch. um you know what I'm talking about,
I
because the
do.
sample has been used so many times.
Absolutely.
Throw some what song, God, what song is that? The beginning where where when the woman is like, I'm not, something about
That's not a
calling
woman.
him. Oh,
It's not a woman. That's a man. But the
oh, it's
voice
Switch.
the voice
Yes,
is so it's such a falsetto-y type of voice.
yeah, it
But
is.
yeah, that's a man because he literally says, "I'm a man now." He
Oh,
says
he
it.
sure does. I'm a grown
I'm a
man.
grown
Yes, he
man
does.
now. So yeah, that was a man.
OMG.
So
It's so right. It's
I
so
used to
right.
think Switch and DeBarge were the same group because they sound
Yeah.
so similar to each other.
Yep. Yep.
But
He's
yes,
up there
Switch.
with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's what's up.
you're so right. You're so right.
That's a man. I'm a
And I
man
be saying,
now.
I was like, damn, I used to think, I was like, this woman, she is thug. Like, I'm a man now. I was like, all right, that's what's up. But anyway, I digress. Damn, that's crazy. I've been wrong this whole time.
The things we learn on the Digital Recipe Podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's all good. I love this. This is perfect. That's perfect. Oh my
I'm
goodness. That's
cracking up.
great.
Okay, what was the question? I'm so sorry.
No, you're
I'm
answering
answering
the
it.
question right now. You're good.
Yes. So I remember. So yeah, I went back. Earth, Wind, and Fire, like all of the things. Now we're moving forward. Well, back but forward in time.
We're in it.
Music Soul Child,
Mm-hmm.
and ugh, I know that I'm forgetting so many greats.
It's all good.
Um,
It's all good.
but yes, I often revisit 70s and 90s and 2000s soul.
Yeah.
And then when I just thought about, because we were talking about Angie,
Mm-hmm.
so then I thought about the OJs, like just everything. I mean, and then my grandmother has all of these records in her home, like so many records. So like I got some of her records, a lot of jazz records, because this out Rose in the Dark has a lot of jazz. It has I think her father is Caribbean, and so you
Mm-hmm.
can hear that in the music as well. So yeah, just so many things, all the things.
For sure. For sure. How often do you listen to this album now?
um I probably listen to this album. I mean, I listen to Cleo so several times a week, but this particular album, probably like once a month.
Mm.
Probably like once a month, but like the songs from this album are always like in a rotation, or they're always like on some type of playlist that I'm making. Um, but yeah,
For
yeah,
sure. Okay. Once
yeah.
a month. Now, wrapping up, If you could pick a song from this album to play for somebody that has never heard this album, has never heard of Cleo Soul,
Yeah.
and you want them to, or you're trying to get them interested in the album, what would be the
Yeah.
song that you would introduce to them so that they could listen to the entire album?
When I'm in Your Arms, because it's the song. Like, the entire album is absolutely beautiful, but like her tone, the music, all of the instruments. I'm not a musician, although I do have a saxophone that I spent 2 months learning how to play, but I digress on that. But all of the instruments that are used in the to just make it feel so like that's what it makes you feel like. It makes you feel like it's just so
Yeah,
yummy. I, that word to describe really great things that make me feel really good inside.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, like I don't know if I want to like I don't know if I want to like sway or if I want to whine or if I want to like choreograph to it. Like When I'm in Your Arms is that girl.
I can dig it. I can dig it. So the name of the album is
Rose in the
A
Dark.
Rose in the Dark. So listen to When I'm in Your Arms first, and then listen to the whole album of Cleo Soul's A Rose in the Dark.
Rose in the Dark.
Rose in the Dark.
Yes.
I had to make sure I get it right. So thank you again for tuning in to The Digital Recipe. I am DJ Atlas. Peace out.
Bye.